Hey everybody, welcome to week 7. All right, week 7, that means we're near the end, which is exciting. So, I want to say something, a little housekeeping though, about this week 7 and then this week 7.5. What is that week 7.5? Okay, so week 7 functions just like any week, right? Sunday to Saturday, right? Open Sunday, Saturday 11:59 p.m. it ends. Now we know that the end of the term is right around the corner, right? So, we've got that week 7. But when Friday comes, that's when week 7.5 starts. And it overlaps until Monday, which is the last day of the class, last day of the term. So week 7, but you have an overlap starting on Friday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, which is week 7.5. Now, I'll post another announcement as we get closer, just to remind you that you need to get into the week 7.5 stuff. And there's just a couple assignments, but one of them does require that you use something else called ePortfolio. It's not hard to do, but it is a little bit of a difference. So we'll say more about that when we get closer. Now, week 7 itself. What are we going to be talking about? Okay, well, we've been doing all the Microsoft Office stuff. We've been doing OneDrive and Outlook and Word and Excel, and now is the time to get into PowerPoint. PowerPoint is Microsoft Office's presentation software. Some of you have touched upon it in other posts and discussion, or in reference to Excel or something like, I'm going to present information, to these charts and graphs to a group of people or something like that, and that's great. But you'd also probably be using Microsoft PowerPoint. So Word has pages, right? Kind of that's how you break things up in a file. You have sheets in Excel, spreadsheets, sheets. And in PowerPoint, you have slides. So it's like a slide presentation, right? You remember, some of you, if you're kind of like my age or older, you remember the old slide presentations that your grandparents would do, right? Their trip to wherever, and they'd have the little clicker and it would go through the carousel of the different slides, right? And these were actually things you could take with a camera, but you had them basically created as slides. This is the electronic version of that, far, far, far more functional, far more fun to use, but the breakdown is in slides. So the lecture this week is very interactive. There are tons of videos. We actually just redid all the videos not that long ago, but they're meant to walk you through all the basic elements of PowerPoint. So you're going to get a lot out of this lecture. There's a ton in it. Again, we spent a ton of time putting it together, so I hope you find it valuable. Just like with Word, just like with Outlook, just like with Excel, there are a few differences between the web-based version of PowerPoint and the downloadable desktop version. This one's going to be more robust. It's going to give you more features. This one's a bit more stripped down and a bit more streamlined because it's online. You can use either one, but just be aware that there are some of those differences. So one of the other things, though, in the lecture that's going to be important, it's not just how to do these different things. What are all the bells and whistles? How is the ribbon set up? That kind of thing. Take note, special note, of what the lecture has to say about how to put together a professional presentation. Okay, it's one thing to be able to, know how to use all the bells and whistles, right? It's something else entirely to do it effectively and to do it professionally, okay? So that's one of the things that I want you to be aware of. In fact, one of the assignments we're doing this week is a reflection, and you're going to be asked to reflect on that. Basically, how should a professional presentation look? So just make note of that. You're going to be learning how to do things, but you also want to learn about kind of what constitutes a good professional PowerPoint presentation. And again, tons of videos. I hope you find them interesting. So the assignments. There is going to be a PowerPoint that we're doing this week. It's an interesting one. It's kind of fun. It's based on an article, and there'll be a link to it. And you're going to just follow the instructions to the letter, and you're gonna have that number of slides, and you're going to put whatever is required of you based on that article into your slides. You're going to organize them properly. The nice thing, though, is this allows for some freedom, some creativity. So you can be creative here. All right, that's the fun thing with Excel or PowerPoint. Oh, sorry. The fun thing with PowerPoint is there are lots of different templates. There's lots of different design backgrounds. There's lots of different colors, all sorts of ways that you can kind of put your own spin, your own style, your own flourish on to your slides, onto your presentation. But one note of caution: just because you can do it in PowerPoint doesn't mean you should. Okay, You can be as creative as you want. You can be Picasso with PowerPoint, okay? But should you? All right. When it comes to professional PowerPoint presentation, there are certain things that people look for. There are certain things that should be avoided. If you're putting every color under the sun into your presentation, it may not look good in the end. Okay. If you don't have enough contrast between your text, right, and the background, one might bleed into the other and you may not be able to see it. So be very, very careful. Be very mindful of how it looks. Yes, you can put in different kinds of things. There's different animations, there's different transitions, but you can go too far. Okay. So just be mindful of that. But this is a fun one. Have some fun with it. Okay. Try to put your own kind of flair on this as long as you adhere to the instructions. So we have discussion this week. It's going to be an interesting one. I'll say more in my video there, but we're going to have a couple of topics. And you can get into any one of those that you want. You can comment, as you'd like. We've been doing that for the past few weeks, and it's been very, very successful. So we're going to continue that. So remember, week 7.5. You have any questions about that? Any questions about assignments? Anything like that? Since we're near the end, folks, you know where to find me. Thanks.